Hello guys, how you doing? My name is William. Today I'm gonna show you. I had some issues with my engine, power issues like a battery or alternator. I'm gonna show you what I did, how to troubleshoot that problem. Basically, the engine was giving me a battery low voltage alarm and a critical alarm, return to port, etc. So I went through the motions of checking everything out, and I'm going to show you guys what I did so you can find out what the problem is, if it is your batteries, your alternator, or in my case it was the cable, the fuse cable from the engine. My engine is a 300 horsepower 2009 Mercury Verado. Okay, so for you guys, what you're gonna need pretty much is a few tools. The basic one, or the most important one, is a multimeter. Okay, to start, first you're gonna set it up to DC voltage, and we're gonna check the batteries first, just to make sure. We're gonna come in here. I have actually a few batteries. I have 3 batteries in my engine. Okay, so you're gonna put the negative lead and the positive lead on the batteries, and without the engine on, it should read at least 12 volts. I have the batteries charging with the onboard charger, so they're really reading like almost 13 volts. So that's pretty good. They should read 12.7, something like that. If after a couple of days, when you're taking off the charge, you check them and they don't have at least 12 volts, the batteries are not holding power. So that's with the engine off, okay, and no charging on it. All right. So we check the batteries. They both looks good. So the next step now, we're gonna turn on the engine, and we should see a charge. Let me show again, George. Show the voltage on the meter. Okay, you can see this is the first battery, this is the second battery, so they're fully charged, they're in good condition. Okay, now we're gonna turn on the engine, and we'll see what's gonna happen. All right, guys, we're back. I hooked up the water to the engine. I already removed the cowlings like I told you, and we're gonna turn on the engine. Okay, we check the batteries look good. So we're gonna turn on. Let me show you guys one thing that you can do on your Verado. On the gauge itself, you can hit mode, even though it says battery okay, temperature okay, PSI okay. If the battery is fully charged, it's gonna tell you it's okay. Now you need to press mode until you get to where it shows you the meter, the volts right there. If the alternator is working properly, let me see, you can see here with the sun, you can barely see there. Anyway, when you get to the voltmeter, the alternator, if the alternator is working fine, it should read, I don't know, you can see there, 14.4 volts. So it should be around 14 or better. So that tells you your alternator is working properly. Okay, if it's reading just 12 volts, most probably you're reading the voltage from your batteries, and there's something wrong with your alternator or your cables, something there. All right, so for that, let's assume that there's a problem with it, that it's not charging. The next thing you want to do with the engine on, you're gonna come back here to where the batteries are, and you're gonna check the batteries again. We're gonna go step by step. Okay, so right now I'm gonna check the battery that I have connected to the engine, and look at the reading on the multimeter. It's reading 14.29 volts. So that means my alternator is charging. Okay, so everything looks good. We're gonna assume again that that didn't work, that we only read 12 volts with the engine on. It should have read 14. Let's assume it only read 12. That means something is not working properly, it's not charging. So then the next step is coming back to the engine, okay? And you're gonna check the alternator, okay? Basically what you're gonna do, be careful, don't put your hands on any of the moving parts of the engine, okay? We're gonna remove this here, okay? Find a ground lid on the engine, right back here, and then we're gonna check what voltage we have in here. Now I'm reading. Show that yours. I'm reading 14.4 volts, and the reason why is because everything is working properly. I already fixed it. I'm sorry about that, guys. I'll show you how I did it. But if there's something wrong with this case with the cable, the regulator box won't be working, and the alternator which be showing about 24 volts. That means the alternator is good, okay? So if you disconnect this cable and you check the voltage from the alternator, it will be throwing like 24 volts, 24.4, something like that. That means the alternator is good, okay? If that is working right, you need to come back over here. Guys gonna open the electrical box in here, and you're gonna check the power coming from the alternator. Again, the same thing, find the neutral and check the voltage. I'm getting 14.4. So that means my alternator is charging, all right? If I wouldn't get that over here, then you need to check that cable, okay? If you look in here, this cable coming from the alternator has a fuse in it. It's an inline fuse with the cable from the alternator that Mercury has. Okay? In my issue that I have, this fuse was blown, and I had to fix this cable. And how you check the cable, basically you unscrew it from here, unscrew it from the alternator, and check that there's continuity on the cable itself. Alright guys, so like I was explaining about the fuse cable from the alternator, I already fixed it, so for the sake of it, I'm just gonna show you guys. I mean, probably most of you know this, but for the people I don't know, you're gonna get the multimeter. Once you remove the cable, you have to remove it from the bottom of the alternator, okay? There's a nut there, it's a number 10 nut, and the number 13 nut on the other side. You're gonna remove that cable, and to check continuity that the fuse is not blown, you're gonna pull your voltmeter right here on the where you check the impedance, and in this case I have an alarm which sounds, okay? You can see here, you gotta pay attention to what you're recording, okay? You should get these sounds once you test the cable. I'm gonna use this cable, which is just a bare cable, and I'm gonna show you. So basically this is what you're gonna do to that fuse cable, and you should get a sound. If you get a sound, or if you look at the screen here, let's assume there's no sound on your multimeter, it's gonna show OL. You're gonna get a reading. Even if you're gonna get a sound, that means the cable is good. If the fuse is blown, you're not gonna get that. It's gonna stay just like this here, okay? All right, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna add a little video of how I fix the cable later, okay? Because I'm a poor fisherman, so I called the store, and the cable costs like $84. So I went ahead and fixed it myself. Again, as a disclaimer, I don't recommend that. Don't do this at home. I'm a do-it-yourselfer. I'm not a certified mechanic, so if you guys don't know what you're doing, go buy the cable, okay? Thank you, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay guys, well, here is the fuse cable for the alternator. It's a Verado 300 2009, year 2009. Like I said, don't do this at home. Just showing you guys to for you to see what I did. I don't recommend anybody doing this, and mostly if you're not familiar or know what you're doing. You know, I did this myself. I'm a poor fisherman, so I went ahead and did it. The cable has an inline fuse. It was 150, I don't know, you can see there. It was 150 amp fuse. The one you see there is the one I already replaced. The one that was there was damaged, so like you guys saw on the earlier test, the cable, there was no continuity on the cable from the alternator to the regulator box on the fuse box in the fuse box here, or the computer box for the engine. It goes in here, as you can see. So it comes over there from the top in here. So I remove it from there, and from here check continuity. There was no continuity. Obviously the fuse was bad, so I showed it earlier. So basically what I did was I found an identical fuse. This was on West Marine. It's a Blue Sea system, 150 amp fuse. The part number is 5258. Again, it's a pack of two for about $9. I ordered a couple of copper. I know you can see here with the sun on the phone. I ordered a couple of smash-on rivets, copper rivets. You know, like the ones that the original fuse had. So I broke the cable apart and ground off the copper smash-on rivets that the cable had, and replaced the old fuse, damaged fuse, for the new one. I put the rivets in and kind of I didn't have a tool, so I used a chisel, kind of make an X cross on the center of the rivet. I don't know if you can see there. And then for a good measure, I smashed it up a little bit until there was a solid connection. I checked using the voltmeter. I checked continuity on the cable. Everything looked good. Prior to connecting both ends, I have put in shrink tubing, clear shrink tubing over the cable, which I slide over this, and I put like 3 of them. I did 3 pieces. I put 2 on one side. There's a piece of shorter cable, so I put 2 here and 1 up here, and I slide. I place 1 in and heat shrunk it, and then I slide the other 1 over, shrunk it, and then I slide the last 1 over and heat shrunk it. It came out pretty good. I don't know if you noticed, guys, but one thing I realized is that when I mated these cables, this cable I used the wrong end. This was the end that was supposed to go to the alternator, and this was supposed to go on the fuse, but they're the same size. It's a 1/4 diameter, so it's gonna work out anyway. Okay, so that was it. Like I said, this is how I fix my cable. I don't recommend you guys doing it. You know, this is what I used, which is the same fuse as the cable had. I called my marine store, and they told me it was like $80 for the cable. So I'm like, I can't afford that, so I went ahead and bought $10 of fuses, a couple of rivets on eBay or Amazon, and 1/4 rivets, copper rivets, and put them in place. All right, and let's continue with the installation.